Dude, let's go.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Untamed Outdoorsmen. And today we are back on the native Watercraft Titan X 12.5. It seems like we always have a build series upload because we just keep finding little small fine-tuning things that we have to still do, and we want to make sure that we show you guys all of them so it can help some of you guys out. But in this build series upload, it's going to be a smaller one. We're going to be installing the YakHobby Garmin GT54 transducer mount, as well as the small skid plate for the back of the transducer to protect it better. So this is something that, again, I didn't think I would have needed, but I come to find out I actually do need it quite a bit. So this is for the EchoMap series, so I'll show you in 1 second here. So this mount right here is an upgraded mount for the Garmin GT54, GT56 transducers. The EchoMap series, I have the GT54, so this is what works for me here, but that's the new mount. So the old mount, the one that came stock with the Garmin when you bought it, in a pinch, it works. Without a doubt, it works perfectly fine. The one thing about it though is it hangs really low with the hull. So you can definitely notice how low it hangs. And normally I wouldn't really care, but you know, loading and unloading the kayak off a truck bed, you know, it's very easy to scrape that transducer. It's very easy to have the transducer get caught, which could lead to breaking the transducer or any damage to it. So transducers are not cheap, especially in EchoMap series. Even a GT54 is expensive. So something like this, not as expensive as a transducer, and we'll probably end up saving it for the long haul. So this will keep it nice and recessed up in that transducer spot to the point where I don't really have to worry about it too much. It'll be nice and tucked up there. So that's what this is. So you just reuse the stock hardware that's with the Garmin, but that's what that is. And then I also bought something else. So I'll show you this right now. And this is pretty cheap. It also is on YakHobby, so it kind of just makes sense to get it while you're there. But this is kind of it's a GT54 specific. You can get it for the GT56 as well. But this is a kind of a skid plate protector for the transducer. It just drills right into the back screws and it'll just sit right in the transducer. The transducer will go right here. It'll just prevent anything from getting caught on it. It'll slide right off. So these two items are pretty cool. Again, this is super cheap. So if you're already going to be buying the transducer mount, spend the extra $10, $15 and just get this. It'll just, in the event where you actually need this, it's worth having. So that's pretty cool. And then this is really awesome as well. So yeah, pretty simple stuff here. I don't think this is going to be very difficult. We're just going to have to probably take, obviously, the transducer off. We're going to have to take that scupper off that's holding the transducer wire, take the battery off, and then just unscrew everything, rescrew it onto this guy. So it should be pretty easy. Let's get to the install now.
Okay, so the first thing that we're going to want to do, we got all of our stuff right here. We got the bracket and we got the skid plate. First thing we're going to want to do is remove our accessory battery because we got to get to that scupper that's underneath it where we did the original install video. We got to get to that so we can give ourselves some more slack. So we're going to remove that right now. All right, got the battery out. Okay, so we got that transducer scupper right there. We're just gonna have to remove these two screws and then definitely need a smaller screwdriver. That one's massive. All right, got a better one. Remove this. Okay, definitely want to keep that together. Okay, I'm just gonna wiggle that right out. That's actually gonna need a flathead. Give me 1 second. All right, so you want to very gently pry on it. Definitely don't want to use the plastic as leverage. So you definitely just want to get in there. All right, so got it out. So now we're gonna need to get underneath the boat and pop out the two screws on the actual transducer plate itself. So I'll see you guys down there. All right, guys, so we're underneath the kayak now. We're gonna take out the two bolts that are up there. This should be pretty simple. Just make sure you get a small but long Phillips head screwdriver. Just gonna get them in there. the bolts out. So guys, like I said in the Garmin EchoMap original install video for this Titan X, we swapped the bolts from that little dry compartment, that little dry scupper plug that sits above the wiring in the bow hatch, and the ones down here, we swapped the bolts. Sorry if you can't see because of my arm. Come on. Oh, that's in there tight. There we go. Okay. The rest of the bolts out by hand. Okay, it's out. Okay, so that's out. I'm gonna just let that dangle here for a second. Let me grab the YakHobby mount. I got 4 bolts on the Garmin mount that I gotta remove. I'm gonna just remove those. This is the GT54 transducer, guys, like I said. So, not bad at all. All right, so we got that out. Now, we have the new transducer. So this is gonna line up just like that. I wish I could get a better angle, but it's gonna line up. You got the little opening there, that's where your cord's gonna go through. So you're just gonna press it in, and it'll kind of line itself up. So now I'm just gonna take the new screws, put it on the new mount. I'm gonna attempt to get them started, but my neck is in a very awkward position here, so we're just gonna have to live with it. Just need to get the 2 corners in. After I get the 2 corners in, we'll be in good shape. You guys can see that a little bit better, I hope. Okay, it's going in. All right, cool. You'll feel when you start hitting sand, you know you're in good shape. And then the last one. All right, guys, so just a little recap of what we've done so far. So we took out the big battery. We took that out. We took out the scupper that holds the transducer wiring in place. And obviously we took out our old bracket. We took out this bracket. This was the one that was originally on the Titan X. This is the stock Garmin transducer mount. Like I said before, it works. So if you need to use this in a pinch, it's more than fine. It just hangs really low, so it creates a potential hazard for this transducer. So we're not gonna be using that anymore. And we got the upgraded YakHobby mount here, and I'll get a closer look at it right now. Okay, so this is a good look of the updated YakHobby mount here. So as you can see, I only used 3 out of the 5 mounts because they didn't include these screws. So again, this is a perfectly secure connection. It's more than fine for the time being until I can get replacement screws. It's okay. Probably won't leave it like this forever, but again, it's okay. But we got the skid plate here, which is still really nice as well for the GT54. This is not the 56. But as you can see, it's a little scratched up just from use, so I'm hoping that this will help out quite a bit. But yeah, let's get it back into the kayak. Okay, so we have the new bolts here. These are the new bolts that came with the YakHobby kit, and they have washers on them too, so that's nice. But we're gonna take our long and skinny screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver. We're going to work it in. This is such a pain. This is such a pain. These screws are brutal. Finally. All right, guys, that's all set. We'll get a couple good looks at it, and then we'll talk about it at the end. All right, guys, so that's gonna do it for today's small Titan X video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. So that was a super easy install. Aside from actually getting the bolts to actually thread on, it was pretty easy for the most part, you know, and that's gonna help out quite a bit because, you know, like I said in the video, the Garmin mount does work, but it hangs really low. So in a pinch you can use it, but you know, long term, I just couldn't help but feel like that's a recipe to, you know, snap that. So we went with something a little bit better, and I think that's gonna work really well for us. I'm not sure if the bumper thing came with hardware or not. I looked all around where we unboxed it just now and I couldn't find anything. So I don't think anything came in the box, but I just took some of the hardware out of the two corners and put it there. I tried really hard to shake it and it wouldn't shake. So we're just gonna roll with that for now, and I'll get more bolts at a later date. We'll see. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for this Titan X video. We do have another Titan X video. I won't, you know, spoil the whole thing for now. I'll wait to take the time to explain why. But we had an issue with our trolling motor plug. The blue one that we had in the XI3 install, the little blue and black one that just clipped in. We had
somewhat major problem with that if I didn't notice probably could have resulted in a fire if I didn't notice. So definitely very fortunate that I noticed it, and you know, we got it corrected, but we're going to be upgrading those plugs to something really, really high quality. So we're going to go, like I said, we're going to go more into detail on that when the video actually comes out. I still got to order the parts and everything. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, but I will be talking about it in that video and our 1-year review on the Titan X12.5 coming out later this fall. So definitely stay tuned for all those videos. We're going to be explaining everything, but really hope you guys enjoyed this one though. If you have any questions, I apologize that video, if we had missed a part or two, recording in that situation was kind of tough. So if I missed something and you have a question, definitely leave a comment down below and we'll answer it for you. Okay guys, hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys in the next video. See you then.